Welcome back to another episode of the 7th D Puckcast. I'm Keith.
I'm Chris.
Follow us on Facebook, like us on YouTube. You want to start us off?
Yeah, today we're going to be going over the All Star selections, going through all the divisions, who's been picked to go, who are some
of the snubs,
some
I
of
guess.
the snubs.
Yeah.
There are a couple, and then
Surprises.
some of the surprises. There's some of those too, and just who deserved it.
Yeah.
Who's admiral, and maybe a guy that kind of deserved it, but maybe there was someone better on the team that could have gotten it.
So I guess we'll start off with the Atlantic Division. I'll just list off the forwards right now.
Mm-hmm.
You have Nikita Kucherov, Brad Marchand, Austin Matthews, Franz Nielsen, Okposo, and Trocheck.
Yeah, there's
two for me.
Yeah, there's two snubs and kind of surprises on that. Franz Nielsen has done nothing. Why is Franz Nielsen going? Henrik Zetterberg should be going. I'd rather see Dylan Larkin go. I know he's doing just about as much of nothing as Franz Nielsen is, but Franz Nielsen hasn't done anything deserving of going to the All-Star game. Not that many people on that team have that are deserving, but the best numbers on that team are coming from Henrik Zetterberg. Yeah. He should be going.
One of the people I do like who's going is Okposo. I think that was a good selection.
Yeah, Eichel being hurt all year kind of eliminated that chance. I think Ryan O'Reilly could have gone.
Yeah,
but
either one, I think.
Either one, but I'm perfectly fine with him going. Or I could have seen Rasmus Ristolainen go.
Yeah, we'll get into that because you have to look at what three defensemen did go.
That's the problem as to the division as to they're
probably
playing.
Three of the best defensemen in the league.
I guess Nikita Kucherov makes sense basically because Stamkos is hurt.
Yeah.
He's the next.
He's putting up all the points.
Yeah, he's the one that's been heavily relied on down there. That's the reason he's there. Brad Marchand, absolutely deserving.
Yeah, and if it wasn't him, it probably would have been Pasternak.
Yeah, but you could either put either one in, but they're both having great seasons. Austin Matthews absolutely deserves to be there.
Yeah, because the only other option would have been like Mitch Marner.
Mitch Marner would have been fine, but they want to prop up him as being the superstar of the league, so they're going to send Austin Matthews.
He's going to have to
go. Trocheck, he's kind of been hurt somewhat this year.
Yeah, his production's not very high.
But then again, what else do you really have to choose from down there?
Especially since now everybody's hurt.
Yeah, Marchessault maybe could have gone.
Yeah, I think Marchessault would have been a good selection.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of deserved it. He appeared out of nowhere this year and has put up good numbers.
Who knows if he'll be able to get like this next year. I think this would have been his chance to have that All-Star game.
Yeah. That wraps up.
Yeah, we'll move on to the defensemen. You have Hedman, Carlson, and Weber.
Carlson and Weber, no argument there.
Yeah.
I mean,
it would have been a toss-up between Ristolainen and probably Hedman
at
that point.
That's where it would come down to for me as well. I can't really argue with anyone. I mean, there's no Maple Leaf defenseman worth going. The Bruins' best defenseman is, Carlo, who hasn't done much, and then Chara, who's too old to play, and that kind of thing. Buffalo, we said Rasmus Ristolainen, and that sums it up. And even the Detroit Red Wings defense hasn't been that great.
No, they don't really have much going on down there.
The best defenseman that could possibly ever make an All-Star game is Green, and he's been hurt all year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a fair enough choice.
And for the goalies, you have Carey Price and Tuukka Rask.
Fine with that. Carey Price has stumbled a little bit recently,
but at the time of the selections, he's
going to go.
Out.
And Tuukka Rask has been very, very good this year, so no surprises there. They both deserve it.
Like the Lightning goalies have just been shaky.
Yeah, Bishop's been better since he just came back from his injury, but
maybe at the time, Frederik Andersen, he was putting up some decent numbers.
I think if it wasn't for the terrible start to the season he had, there's a good chance he probably could have made it. But it'd be hard to beat Tuukka Rask out and Carey Price because they're two of the biggest known name netminders in the league. Yeah, so they're going to get the votes.
They're going to bring fans in. People will buy their stuff.
Yeah.
I guess we're just moving right along into the Metropolitan Division. Crosby.
This is a stacked division.
Hall, Malkin, Ovechkin, Simmons, Tavares.
That is a disgusting forward lineup.
I have to say, I like Simmons going.
I do too. He's the one that we've talked about it in the show recently. How we feel like he's been overshadowed by Giroux. And
gets that chance now.
He's now they're finally recognizing. Actually, Simmons might be the best player they have there. We're gonna send him. He deserves to be there. I think he'll have a lot of fun going. Obviously, Ovechkin's got to go. Crosby, you're not gonna have an All-Star game without him. Malkin's been fantastic this year, so
any offensive skill competitions, they're just going to dominate.
Yeah, Taylor Hall makes it because you have to send someone from the Devils. His numbers haven't been amazing this year, but he's also had some injuries, and there's no one else on that team that's going to go. So
no, Zajac would maybe be the closest one. But he's not going to bring in fans like Taylor Hall.
Yeah, Taylor Hall's a good name, and unfortunately, I think with the injuries and the fact that he has no one to play with, his numbers aren't what they usually are.
Other players I think that could have made it. You have Cam Atkinson, who's having a phenomenal year.
Yeah. There's a lot of players on that Columbus team.
Yeah.
That, especially their forwards. That
Columbus.
Yeah, you could argue,
Wenberg
could be there. Yep. Foligno could be there. Any one of those guys would be like, yeah. And defenseman, you could say Werenski could even be there. Yeah. I wouldn't disagree.
Even Grabner.
I think Grabner should have been there over McDonough. McDonough's got more points this year, but his defensive game hasn't been nearly as good as we've seen in past years. And Grabner is having this resurgence out of nowhere.
He just scored 20 and 21 tonight?
Something like that, yeah, I believe. So that's absurd. No one expected Grabner to get 8 goals this year. Yeah, he's already at 21.
It's just with that stacked offense, a lot of those players are getting overlooked when you look at the defense. Like someone like Jeff Skinner could have made it.
Yeah, that's the one thing I agree to. The defensemen, I have a little...
Falk, Jones, and McDonough?
Yeah. Falk, yeah, he's all right, but I think Skinner way more deserves to go. Seth Jones is good. Like we said, it could have been Werenski. Wouldn't have had a problem with that. I thought an early projection for that would be Gostisbehere, but he's had such a bad year. No. Yeah. He doesn't deserve to go.
And then, again, they have great goalies, too. Bobrovsky and Holtby.
Yeah, no argument there. No one else in this division deserves to be there more than the two of them.
No, you look down the teams, it's like none of them.
No. You got no arguments for me on that.
Guess we're just going to keep moving right along on here. Into the Central.
Yep. Another good team. Have they announced... we can just say who they are first. Patrick Kane, Patrick Laine, Nathan McKinnon, Tyler Seguin, Tarasenko, Jonathan Taves.
I think Scheifele might replace Laine if he's not
That's who I'm waiting to hear. I didn't know if they've announced that.
Scheifele, if Laine wasn't there, would deserve it with what his season he's putting up.
Yeah, I wouldn't have any issue with that.
They have one of the better-looking Ds when we get onto that, too. But, Panarin... I think Panarin over Taves all day.
Taves said Panarin over Taves. So
that says something.
Yeah, Taves was like, why am I going to the All-Star game? Why was I selected? Panarin's tearing it up, and I've been slumping all year. Why am I going? Panarin definitely...
Taves is more popular jersey.
But, Panarin absolutely deserves to be there way more than Jonathan Taves does. Patrick Kane obviously should be there. I feel bad Patrick Laine is going to miss out on it, though. He was having a really good rookie campaign until that. Nathan McKinnon goes.
They have no one else to send.
Yeah, it's just they kind of probably just drew a name out of the hat at that point. And Tyler Seguin, sure, deserves to go. No issue there.
Yeah, they've been pretty struggling so far.
Tarasenko's cooled off a bit recently, but
he has. But
the Blues have been terrible recently.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jake Allen.
Maybe other people have been like Shattenkirk.
Yeah, he could have gone.
Definitely not Jake Allen.
Yeah, definitely not Jake Allen. He is ruining my fantasy team. He's been pulled in each of his last 3 or 4 starts.
Yeah.
He hasn't finished a game, so...
I think the Central all the way down is probably the most balanced one, with the defense of Subban, Keith,
and
Suter.
The Metropolitan has the strongest offense, but then it kind of bottoms out
And
in the defense. And the goalies are good. But the Central is just strong throughout. You got PK Subban, Duncan Keith, and Ryan Suter. Again,
really can't say anything about that.
No.
I don't know if I would have picked anyone over any of those players.
I mean, you could interchange Duncan Keith and Shattenkirk, I think, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Spurgeon's having a really good year for the Wild. Maybe someone like him over a Suter.
Yeah, just to give a new face there.
Yeah.
Although Suter is deserving. I like Suter. He's a good player. He always deserves to be there.
A great job.
Goaltenders, Corey Crawford, Devin Dubnyk. Yeah.
What other goalies would you send?
If you're not going to send Hellebuck, Hutchinson, or Pavlik, you're not going to send Niemi or Kari Lehtinen. You're not going to send Allen, so...
Here's the other two.
Yeah.
I mean, they happen to be Corey Crawford and Devin Dubnyk. So, you had still very well
one other person I would have liked to maybe see make the All-Star game has been Eric Stahl. He deserves it for the rebound season that he's had, too.
He does.
But it's hard to pick out who you remove then. Also, I could see on the defensive side Dustin Byfuglien making it.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you take out Keith, or Suter, put in Byfuglien, because then there's your Winnipeg representation, and then throw, someone else up on the forwards.
That means, like, Laine would have missed it.
Well, I'm saying now that Laine's out, I'm saying you could pull him, however you want to adjust it. There were some... That's the thing, the Central's good, though. You have a lot of stars there.
It's pretty deep division.
Yeah, I mean, Jamie Benn's not even on here, but he's had a slower year, but still.
When you look at it, it's still a very good year.
Yeah, still a good year.
I guess we'll move on to the last division. We got the Pacific Division.
Pacific. Forwards, you got Connor McDavid, obviously. Jeff Carter, Johnny Gaudreau, Bo Horvat, Ryan Kessler, Joe Pavelski. Yeah. Bo Horvat over the Sedins for the first time.
I like it.
Ever, but definitely deserving. More so than the Sedins have been this year.
I mean, they really don't have much going on there.
Yeah.
Probably would have been him or like Sven Baertschi.
Yeah, it is a crapshoot. Connor McDavid obviously is going to be there. He's leading the league in points.
Yeah.
Definitely deserves to be there. Jeff Carter's having a great year in LA.
He is.
He's been doing better than Kopitar.
Kopitar, I think, usually starts every year slow.
He's turning it around
and then
now,
he's just going to go off.
He's turning it around now, but Carter has been there all year, plugging away. Johnny Gaudreau from Calgary, that's fine. Got no complaints there. Ryan Kessler has been having a great year for the Ducks.
But I mean, you could also argue Getzlaf over him.
Yeah, you can, but I'm fine with the choice, but Perry could even go, Getzlaf. One of the three, they just chose Kessler this year.
Yeah, just a lot of the talent just happens to be on a handful of teams.
Yeah, like Pavelski. You look at it, the Pacific Division, a lot of it's just Anaheim, teams. San Jose, L.A. Anaheim, San Jose, L.A.
Yep.
It's basically a blend, because that's where we get to the defensemen. Brent Burns, Drew Doughty, Cam Fowler.
I mean, OEL over Mike Smith?
Yeah, for maybe replacing Cam Fowler.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that... Even a Dougie Hamilton over a Fowler I would like better.
Yeah, Dougie Hamilton's turned it around this year, so I think he would have been deserving of it.
Like, once all the Calgary's like, let's shop Dougie around. He must have had a little flame under his ass lit.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Didn't even think about that. The flaming seas.
Also, too, I think Chad Johnson could have deserved a nod for this.
Yeah, he just didn't play the whole season.
Yeah, I just think no one was expecting him to do it. So,
like, Mike Smith thought he was getting traded.
Yeah, when he got the phone call, it's like, oh God, where am I going to now? You're going to the All Star game. Oh,
gets the call from the GM.
Martin Jones, though, totally fine with that.
Yeah, I mean,
Gibson hasn't been great in Anaheim. Quick's been hurt all year. It's Budai. You're not going to send Budai to the All Star game.
Johnson has, but granted, Smith was hurt, and he's been
He's the only reason they don't get mercied every night, and there is no mercy in the NHL. It's not a 10-goal game every night. You're not going to, you got Markstrom and Miller. Neither one of them are deserving to go. So.
No. Yeah, so, I mean, it's pretty much like it has to be Smith.
Yeah.
We have to send a Coyote.
Yeah, they had to pick one, so, I mean, it was either him or Oliver, which I think Oliver still deserves a spot there.
Definitely over Fowler, but I mean...
But, I mean, not any knock to Fowler at all. Just,
no.
That's just the way that we
But
feel.
I do like that with Smith. I mean, as far as his last chance to make an All-Star game.
Yeah, he's getting up there in years, and
Always will probably be the representative
for the next 10 years.
Depending on how the rookies decide to pan out.
Yeah.
Once Tippett is gone. Because he needs to be gone.
Yeah, well, we've been praying for that every week, and here we sit, January 19th, and he's still the coach.
All of a sudden you look online and you see, oh, Anthony Duclair sent to the AHL. What?
That's a joke. That's embarrassing.
And you just, like, read comments from all the fans, like, fire Tippett. Tippett
Please
needs
fire,
to go.
yeah. Please
I mean, you
fire.
have to see that as a GM.
Yeah, it's absurd, especially how do you send Duclair down? I know he's having a rough year, but he's putting in all the effort. How do you send him down? And then at the same time, Jack Capuano gets fired.
Yeah, he gets fired.
Which we can spend a little time talking about, because that makes for things a little interesting. Why did they wait till now?
So that is kind of like a random point.
Yeah, after they beat Boston 4-0 the day before, they fire him the next day.
Yeah.
If you were going to fire him, you should have done it when you realized right out of the gate that your team was terrible and that it wasn't working, and make a change. Granted, I think a lot of it's on Garth Snow, who I think needs to be fired as a GM.
Yeah.
For letting Okposo go and signing Andrew Ladd to that ridiculous contract.
I think Ladd's hurt now, too.
Yeah,
I don't think it's something minor, but he's out for a little while.
All this last year, they finally make it to the playoffs. They finally, win a series. And then you let Okposo go, who's finally the guy...
Who's an all-star.
Who's an all-star. who's finally... who's finally the guy that, you found who can play with Tavares, who's going to work with Tavares and get him to play after years of searching for someone. You found him in Okposo. Then you let him walk away. You bring in Ladd. He can't do it. Now here you are sitting yet again with Tavares with no one to play with, a superstar surrounded by crap.
At this point, just get rid of him.
I honestly think the Islanders need to rebuild it. They are in the perfect spot right now to do it. They have the perfect goaltending situation. Play Grice, because he's good enough to go out there and be a starting goalie.
Yeah, you could still put a competitive team out there.
Well, you have Berube backing up and learning, which is great. You can trade Tavares for first and second round picks from any team. Yeah, you could get, a team that has 2 firsts and a second. You could get all of them for Tavares.
You could trade for a second line.
Tavares deserves so much better than what he has gotten from the Islanders.
I don't think there's a team that wouldn't be like, we don't want him.
Yeah, no. If you said we are listening to offers on Tavares, there would be 29 teams calling you.
Maybe except the Penguins, just because you're not going to put Tavares on your third line.
Yeah, and they wouldn't be able to afford him.
But they would still call and offer.
They would be like, yeah, we'll give you Phil Kessel for him. I don't know. I mean, I would offer up almost anyone in the league. There's obviously some exceptions, like not Connor McDavid or anything. But
they could probably bring in a Brandon Carlo.
Yeah, I think Boston would be like, actually, we are willing to move him.
What was that, Jonathan Tavares? You were interested in... Have you heard of this player, Brandon Carlo?
Yeah. I mean, Tavares is young enough still to do well on a team, but, why are you going to make him go through another rebuild? He's supposed to be at the end of this rebuild.
Rebuilt.
Yeah.
He's going to be in his, early 30s.
Yeah.
He's 26 right now. You got to do a little something.
Because their team now, it looks so bad. They're so
He's
far
in
away.
His prime. He will never have more value than he does right now.
Yeah. And to waste it on a team that's not going to be going anywhere for the next couple years the way...
I mean, the only reason they might keep him is because they're probably afraid that if they get rid of him, they'll have even less fans in their stands. And they'll be the next team to ship out to some other state, go to Canada.
It's just, at the same time, though, they'd be better off just getting a new young all-star, like a superstar.
Yeah. Like, if they can bring in one of the first-round picks from, like, an Arizona, or even if Colorado tried to get him.
Yeah.
And then you land that Nolan Patrick, you have that young star coming up. Fans.
Yeah. You have Nolan Patrick, or even if you want to just trade him away, get next year's pick, because the prospect pool isn't that deep this year.
No, I mean, you have talent, but you don't have, like this past year where you have, what?
The superstars.
6-7 players who are on NHL teams.
Yeah.
I mean, Nolan Patrick will probably be the only one if he's healthy.
Yeah. Maybe the second guy will get a cup of tea with, whoever gets taken second.
Yeah. He'll play the preseason games. Maybe hold him on a game or two.
If he has a good preseason, he might get some time. And if they think he needs some more, weathering, they'll send him back down.
But you look down, you have the last Strome brother coming up.
Yeah. But that's the thing, too, though, is, you look at the last couple years' drafts, they've been strong, they've been deep. It's been
Edmonton
Austin
winning
Matthews.
Everything.
Yeah. It's been Austin Matthews. It was Patrick Laine. 1-2 punch right there, and both of them are, like, interchangeably could have been 1 and 2.
You go McDavid Eichel to Matthews Laine.
Yeah. 2 years. Great drafts. And then this year, it's kind of like, Nolan Patrick.
It's like Nolan Patrick.
I can't even tell you who the second guy is.
I could, but I have no idea how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I honestly don't even know. It's just not a good year for it.
Yeah. But, this is probably the one you'll see those late first-rounders, second, third-rounders, and 4 years being dominant players.
I think those picks are going to end up being more important than the top ones this year.
Yeah.
It's tough now, but the Islanders have to do something different.
They do. A lot of teams are at that point.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams that are coming to crossroads right now with, all right, what are we going to do? And I think the Coyotes are another team that needs to figure it out because they have such a packed roster full of players.
Yeah, that prospect pool goes pretty deep.
It goes so deep, but Tippett insists on playing the old guys.
But the thing is, you don't want to trade those prospects because you don't know what they are.
Yeah.
But you have a coach not willing to play them.
To find out what they are.
He's skating Brandon Perlini. He's looking really good.
Mm-hmm.
But, you still have the people down in the AHL.
You have Strome in the juniors.
Like, I would probably bet money that the Coyotes' AHL team could beat their NHL team.
I would absolutely agree, especially now that Duclair's down in the AHL.
Yeah, you got Duclair, D'Angelo, Aiden Hill, Merrick Langenhammer,
Kyle Wood,
Christian Fisher's like over a point per game down there.
Yeah,
he's a winger. You need them.
Yeah, but they refuse to actually give these guys a chance.
Craig Cunningham. Oh wait. Ooh. Too soon?
Feel better, by the way.
Yeah, we love you.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting what they end up doing, whether they end up trading away pieces before they even get to really see them in action, because I just get this feeling that they're going to end up trading away one of their prospects who's just going to blow up in the NHL.
Yeah. It's something time will tell.
Yeah.
Look back out and be like, shit.
Like, we traded him for a third-round pick.
We have Connor Murphy.
Yeah. We still have Connor Murphy. We can still put him out there and be skated around.
Honestly, I think I'd rather be offered Craig Cunningham than Connor Murphy.
Yeah. It's probably still easier to get around Connor Murphy because Craig Cunningham has that wheelchair that probably blocks more room than he does. Sorry, we're just getting terrible now.
Yeah, we're not very nice people.
We're from New Jersey.
To Connor Murphy.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Maybe one day you'll figure it out.
Yeah. But I think that...
yeah, it's about it
that'll
for today.
wrap it up for today.
Before we carry on about Connor Murphy.
Yeah, and Craig Cunningham. Yep, so that's a pretty good, I think, wrap-up of the All-Star game. It should be fun to see.
Yeah.
It should be a fun weekend.
The skills competition will be fun.
Minus the fact they took away the breakaway challenge.
Why?
I don't know. Yeah. They just did. I mean, it is kind of a gimmicky thing, but...
Yeah.
I mean, the skills competition in and of itself is kind of just a dumb gimmicky thing.
Yeah, pretty much who has the hardest
shot.
The hard shot. Is the
who can skate around in a circle the fastest. But,
that should be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, now that there is so much speed in the NHL, it actually might be fun to watch, but...
Because, Matthews will be in that one.
Yeah. You'll probably...
McDavid.
Yeah, Connor
Matthews lined up across McDavid, and that will actually be entertaining.
I'd really like to see that, actually.
I mean, Line is a little slower, so he wouldn't even have been entertaining in that.
No. Line A is more just give me the puck, I'm going to snipe the shit out of you.
Yeah. And no one's beating Weber for hardest shot.
No. I mean, maybe Ovechkin could come close, but that's your best close.
I'm sure they'll put him in, accuracy or something.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, well, that's about it for today's episode.
Yep.
Thank you for listening.
Next week we'll be back with another one. Don't really know where we're going to go yet.
We don't really have a plan for next week. I'm sure we'll have one, though.
Yeah, we'll be working up something interesting. But thank you for listening. Have a good one.